My name is Jacob Talamantes, and I will be doing a presentation on QR codes. What is a QR code? A QR code stands for Quick Response Code. They all have 4 standard modes in them: numeric, alphanumeric, binary, and kanji, which is a Japanese writing system. QR codes have a matrix code, is what they're called also. What it is, it's a 2D code that can represent more data per unit area. 2D codes are better to use, QR codes and such, for listing more data, as to 1D, which are your standard barcodes that you would see at a grocery store or a market when buying or scanning your food. What are they used for? Well, in the beginning, QR codes, they came from an automotive industries from the Japanese. They became popular outside the industry due to its fast readability and greater storage compared to the UPC, which is, as stated before, the 1D as your barcodes. What QR codes did is they helped with product tracking, item identification, time tracking, document management, and general marketing. And the U.S. kind of took the QR code and incorporated it to where now we have it almost everywhere we go. QR codes are able to be made on computers, generated, and then also can be read by computers or smartphones. They are used to display information, recordings, videos, YouTube, anything you would like to have on them. And since they are able to hold more than barcodes, a lot of more people use them for things for school or for general information. What is a QR code made out of? Well, QR codes look like this in the picture. Usually they all have a white background made with black squares arranged in a square grid. QR codes usually have 3 big squares in corners: the bottom left, top right, and then the top right. The bottom right is used for the image size, orientation, and angle viewing, and that's all in the codes that they have. The small squares throughout, which all the black lines are actually squares, they are actually binary numbers that were validated through an error-correcting algorithm that the Japanese used, as stated earlier. Alright, and here's a video on the codes.
As most of you know, QR code stands for Quick Response Code, and it's a 2-dimensional barcode that holds a good deal more information than a traditional barcode. They originated in Japan at the Toyota factory to track the manufacturing of car parts. Since then, they've taken off in popularity, and you'll see them everywhere in consumer advertising. When you scan a QR code, you're instantly taken to a variety of tech-based experiences. Could be a text message, could be an audio message, could be a website, could be a video. It's like magic. The tools to create a QR code are essentially free, and the tools to interact with a QR code are increasingly easy and common to use. So we have this great, free, easy tool, but what can we do with it? Teachers have realized there's a lot of potential for QR codes in the classroom. Recently, I told my class we would be learning some new vocabulary words, something we do 2 or 3 times a month. They let out a groan because it's kind of a boring activity. Then I passed out QR codes to all my students and told them we'd be interacting with them with devices, and that's how they'd find the vocabulary list. The attitude in the class changed completely. They went from groaning and moaning to excited and enthusiastic. I could teach the exact same lesson using QR codes and not using QR codes and get a completely different attitude. One fun activity to do with QR codes is a scavenger hunt. I create QR codes with tasks assigned to them. I hide them all around the room. Students go with their devices and scan them and have to complete the task. Recently, I hosted a technology event at my school and held a school-wide QR code. Students loved it. In grades K through 6, they were completely engaged and excited, literally running from code to code because they were so excited to see what the next task was going to be. Students who didn't have devices with them were begging their parents to pull out their smartphones so they could participate as well. It was so refreshing to see that level of enthusiasm and excitement regarding learning. A creative use for teachers for QR codes is for positive reinforcement. Put up a poster in your classroom with numbered QR codes, each one leading to a different message. When a student needs some feedback, tell them, go scan number 5, go scan number 22, and the message will say, great job today. I love your enthusiasm. Nice work. I can see you're working really hard. It's so much more exciting for a student to get out of their seat, scan a code, and interact with something for the teacher just to say, good job. It's much more memorable. Libraries have endless uses for QR codes, scannable book reviews, lists of reading suggestions and book lists on the walls, biographies. Imagine pulling a biography of Martin Luther King Jr. off the shelf, scanning a QR code, and being instantly taken to the I Have a Dream speech. It literally makes learning come alive. QR codes can add a nice 21st century twist to a traditional assignment. Each year I have my class create a poster for a book report, something we've all probably done at some point in elementary school. It's a little bit of a boring assignment. The kids enjoy it okay. This time I changed it up, and the second step of the assignment was to have them record their voices, recording an audio QR code of themselves giving a book review of the book. They then printed the QR code, attached it to the poster, and gave the poster a hands-on interactive quality. We put them in the hallway, and kids from all different classes were walking by, scanning them, listening to these book reviews. It was so much more fun than just a traditional poster. My class recently had the privilege of participating in a QR code lesson led by a teacher across the country. If the video chat weren't exciting enough, the fact that she incorporated QR codes into the lesson, my students from their seat, from the comfort of their classroom, could actually scan the codes on the computer screen, interacting with her QR codes from 3,000 miles away, was incredibly exciting and memorable for my students. They did not stop talking about the lesson for weeks. You just don't get that kind of memorable, engaging experience using a worksheet or reading from a textbook. QR codes have a possible use in every grade level with every subject area. Kindergarten teachers can have their students scan a QR code that leads to a phonics lesson. The music teacher can create audio QR codes of their students playing instruments or singing. PE teacher can post real-time race results or athletic event results, all attached to a QR code. The student council or the PTO can advertise upcoming school events all around the school and send home on flyers via QR code. The possibilities with this free and easy tool are endless. If used properly, QR codes have the potential to awaken a student, transform a lesson, and bring down the walls of your classroom, creating the ultimate 21st century learning opportunity.
Alrighty. What could I use QR codes on in teaching? Let's see. Back in my high school, we were already using QR codes for the library, for book talks. A student would go into the library and scan a book, the QR code on the book, for a book talk done by students or found online and placed on the book. I can see teachers using them to hand out assignments or use them for history assignments or just to see how other students are doing in a classroom if it's for like a middle school per se. Also, but for me, being a band director, I can see them as using QR codes too. It was kind of harder to see what I could use them for, but after doing a little research, I found a lot of good ideas that I can use when I teach. I can do it about pieces. When you're going to a contest or when you're in concert and symphonic band, the pieces you do, some of them may have a story behind them. And it's really cool to get the students to interact as it's scanning those QR codes to learn about the pieces. Like right now we're doing a song called Fate of the Gods. What it's about is a god going bad, and one of them, and them fighting with each other and destroying everything. But after defeating the god, there was only one tree left. And then that tree goes through and populates and makes the world safe again, and it just turns it into beautiful. And during the song, you can hear the battle that happens, and then just it turns into a beautiful, just beautiful ending whenever you find out that all the trees are back. Also, QR codes can be used for tryout music for all region. For all region, you have all region jazz, and they are usually consisted of learning 3 different pieces, not including your scales, your thirds exercises, or your sight reading or improv that you have to do. Usually students from the school go to these tryouts, but very few usually go. So instead of printing out 100 pieces of paper, or 100 times 3, so 300 pieces of paper, not including your scales, your arpeggios, and your thirds, you're using a lot of paper. Therefore, the way I can use it is I can set up a billboard in the room, and I can put the instrument name, saxophone, clarinet, flute, tuba, and then I can have the QR code under it. Therefore, that way all they have to do is scan it. It gives them recordings of people doing it, the sheet music, and ways to help out. And it's all right there at the touch of their hands, especially with smartphones. Another way QR codes can be used for band directors is for learning about different directors and learning about the history of music, such as Beethoven, Bach, and etc. Also, I can use QR codes for homework. For a jazz band, you're not stuck with the same songs every year or semester, however your school may do it for classes. You're always getting new pieces of music, and with jazz comes different styles. There's Count Basie, which is really laid back, bases its eighth notes off upon triplets, do, ba do, versus Dixieland jazz, which bases it off of regular eighth notes, do, which are metered. So it's just all about the style, about how the music comes out. And with recordings, I can link them to YouTube videos and have the sheet music along with them with their part. That way they can either practice or follow along just to understand and learn the style that they need to play with that song. Because you range from anywhere from funk to Latin to smooth to double time feel, and it's all different with different pieces of music. Alright, and this is my reflection. Alright, and this is my bibliography. Thank you.